The global banking system has already been flipped, and almost no one knows it. ISO is live. The messaging rails that move trillions of dollars across borders have been recoded. XRP, XLM, XDC, and others are locked in as the backbone of this new system. This is structure. The old financial system is being replaced, not upgraded, replaced. And only a handful of coins are built to run on the new rails. We are witnessing the quietest overhaul in banking history. As of now, over 90% of the world's high-value payment systems have migrated to ISO. SWIFT is compliant. FedNow is ISO native. BRICS is launching an alternative cross-border payment system with ISO integration. The European Central Bank is already testing digital euro settlements under ISO. And Ripple, the company behind XRP, is partnered with central banks across the Middle East, Europe, Latin America, and Asia to activate institutional settlement corridors using XRP as the bridge. Let's be absolutely clear. XRP wasn't built for speculation, and once you understand why, everything changes. It was engineered from the ground up to be the backbone of a new financial internet, one that replaces SWIFT, removes intermediaries, and allows instant atomic settlement across borders using a neutral, algorithmic bridge asset. This is happening now. RippleNet lets banks settle instantly using XRP. No currency delays. The legal clarity secured in the United States in 2023 unlocked regulatory doors, and now the last resistance is gone. People ask, if this is all true, why hasn't the price exploded? The system hasn't opened yet. First, the architecture had to be built in silence. Liquidity corridors are being connected. On-ramps are being regulated. And institutions are finishing the framework to move from test to execution. But here's the piece no one tells you. XRP's value isn't driven by hype. It's not driven by retail buying. It's driven by one thing, liquidity demand. When banks start using XRP to move real money, not test amounts, not simulations, the amount of XRP required to facilitate those transfers will force the asset to reprice. Not slowly, and instantly. Think of a dam holding back water. You don't wait for the trickle, you brace for the flood. When the gates open, price doesn't climb, it reacts. XRP isn't suppressed because it lacks value. It's stagnant because the system it was built for hasn't been turned on publicly yet, but it will be. Now let's make this undeniable. The ISO 20022 compliant digital assets are XRP, XLM, XDC, Algo, IOTA, Quant, HBAR, and Stronghold. These aren't meme coins chasing hype. They are functionally aligned with the financial operating system that is now live globally. XLM, the Stellar Network, is partnered with MoneyGram and Circle for real-time stablecoin transfers across borders. It's built for retail remittances and direct user-to-bank connections in ISO format. XDC is embedded in trade finance and asset tokenization, tied into the TradeFinex and TFD initiatives, real-world institutional platforms testing blockchain-powered settlement of multi-million-dollar commercial transactions. Algorand is aligned with sovereign currency programs and has been chosen by countries like the Marshall Islands to launch national digital money with ISO compliance structures. IOTA is tapped by the European Union and World Economic Forum for machine-to-machine transactions and industrial settlement. It's fully ISO aligned and designed for traceable high-frequency data finance. Quant provides middleware. Its overledger technology links private and public blockchains with ISO messaging systems used by banks. It's not a currency. It's the glue that allows permissioned systems to speak with blockchain ecosystems. HBAR is governed by a council of global giants, Google, IBM, Boeing, Standard Bank. It's being used to model central bank digital currency pilots and ISO-compliant data settlements. Stronghold is powering enterprise payment systems and gateway infrastructure for real-time fiat-to-crypto conversion on Stellar's ISO-aligned rails. These assets weren't built to follow. They're running it. Here's what stings the most. Retail isn't even invited. You're not supposed to know this. You're not supposed to position yourself early. That's why these developments are happening quietly, buried in PDFs and hidden inside institutional language. Why Ripple is quietly working with over 70 central banks. They don't need you to know. Utility changes everything. When XRP starts processing a meaningful percentage of cross-border flow, not 1%, but real volume, trillions of dollars will be routed through a digital asset with a fixed supply and on-demand settlement speed. That doesn't cause a price bump. That causes a reset. And now you understand XRP was designed for that reset. It doesn't react to news cycles. It was built to absorb global liquidity at the infrastructure level to route value like the internet routes data. This is why so much movement has been off-chain, behind closed doors, inside liquidity corridor pilots, and private integrations. The system has to be complete before the switch is flipped, and that flip is coming. When the institutions activate the full pipeline, it won't be gradual. It won't be announced. It will simply happen, and by the time the price moves, it will already be too late to reposition. The architecture is built. The rails are live. The liquidity models are in place, and all that remains is the switch to execution. This isn't a theory anymore. This is happening. If you miss this shift, you won't just miss a market opportunity. You'll miss a one-time entrance into the foundation of a new financial system, one that will not allow re-entry once it activates. Once utility starts, these assets won't be priced for retail. They'll be priced for institutions, for governments, for corridors moving hundreds of billions per day. You won't be able to afford the entry point because it won't be built for you. And that's the regret. Not the price, not the hype. Regret hits when you saw it early and still didn't move. You'll watch the new system run and know you missed your entry. You'll watch the wealth transfer happen in real time. And you'll know you had a seat at the table and gave it up. This is the final window. If you're ready to be inside the system before it locks, subscribe to Wealth Signal, because this isn't a cycle. It's a one-way bridge. And once it activates, the other side won't wait for anyone. This isn't just another financial evolution. It's a lockout event, a one-time gateway between two financial worlds. One old, bloated, and permissioned, and one fast, neutral, and algorithmically optimized. Once value starts flowing through these compliant rails, the system won't care who's watching or who's prepared. It will run, and it won't look back. The ISO wealth transfer isn't about missing profits, it's about missing access. Every past shift allowed time to adapt, but this one won't, because it's being orchestrated by institutions, not markets. Once the switch flips, assets will be repriced based on systemic role, not speculation. XRP stands at the center, not because of hype, but because it's already embedded in live liquidity corridors that meet the throughput demands of institutional finance. Banks don't choose it for speculation. They choose it because it works. This isn't a rally. It's a protocol reset. XRP doesn't need to trend, it just needs to move value. Because when it hits, price won't care what you believe. If you're ready to be inside this system before it locks, subscribe to Wealth Signal, because this isn't a cycle. It's a one-way bridge. And once it activates, the other side won't wait for anyone.